guys, so I just finished reading Stalking Jack the Ripper, and oh my goodness, way to start off the new year. This book was fantastic. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I was like, I knew who it was, like maybe 1/3 through the book. I was like, come on, I know who it is. It's so obvious. But I did really enjoy this book and I really like it. I love Thomas. Thomas is one of my favorite characters so far. I have to admit, this is kind of one of my first historical fiction books that I've actually read, like, almost ever. I don't really count Heartless because even though Heartless has that kind of Victoria era feel to it, it isn't kind of like the true Victorian era. Unlike Stalking Jack the Ripper, which just takes a few creative liberties, but like, what story isn't? You can't really follow the story directly. But anyway, end my rant. Really like the book. I highly recommend it. It is so fantastic. And I did this as a buddy read with my friend Danielle, so hopefully she will be in the rest of the video. So yeah, that's it. Jessica, and today I'm here with my friend Danielle.
Hi!
Because we buddy read Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie. How do you pronounce her last name?
Maniscalco.
Yeah, that. And you know, this is kind of the first time I've actually done a buddy read, and
Me too.
and like, no, because I do a buddy read with Grace, and she'll never finish the book, and I'll finish the book, and it annoys me. So thank you for actually finishing this book.
You're welcome.
So I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars.
I did too. I gave it 5.
Yeah, it was so
I gave it 5. It was really, really, really good.
Yes, it was.
I saw it on Goodreads and I was like, I have to read this.
I got it at Target. I've always wanted to read it, and then I got it at Target, and I was just like, it's 30% off, should I get it? And I got it.
Of course.
Oh wait, 1 second, I gotta grab my choker.
Oh, okay. No, I'm getting my bloody choker. Because he does like Jack the Ripper. Yeah. He cuts my throat, yeah. There we go. Yeah. Like, gonna grab it, and then I didn't. Okay.
So, a synopsis of this book. The main character, Audrey Rose Watkins.
Wadsworth.
Why did I say Watkins? Watkins. Wadsworth wants to be, what,
a forensic scientist.
Forensic scientist.
Like her uncle.
Like her uncle. And then the Jack the Ripper murders start happening, and she and this boy Thomas are trying to figure out who Jack the Ripper is.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna get into spoilers now because there's just so much we want to talk about.
Yes.
Yes, so spoilers.
Thomas. It wasn't Thomas.
It wasn't Thomas. Okay, so
it was her brother.
It was her brother. I can't believe her brother died. Like, a part of me was like, I thought he wasn't gonna die. I thought they were just gonna like try and help him get over his little like craziness.
I mean, they wanted to, but he killed himself.
I know. And when she goes in there and she finds his mom, she finds her mom, I was like, oh my god, I was not expecting that.
And she thought it was her dad the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, it's in his study.
Yeah, and it's all the stuff that he used to do, like building steam engines and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then
I never thought it was her dad, though. It's too obvious.
And then his dad did come out of the last girl that was murdered. He did come out of her apartment.
Yeah.
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 Do you think that they had a relationship, that he was having sex with her? Because a part of me's like, would her dad do that?
That part was so weird.
I know.
Like, I didn't know, like, I was reading that and I was like, why is he there?
I know.
At first I thought it was like maybe for the opium.
I mean, wait, my question is, did they actually see that was her father, or was it actually her brother? Because I was like, did they have the same build, and in the shadows she didn't know?
Yeah, we're never told if they have the same build.
Yeah, because he didn't really, when Audrey Rose says that we were following my dad in the carriage, he was like, what? And then that was like all he said about it. He wasn't like...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like, it's the family carriage.
Yeah, it's the family carriage, marked with M for murder.
Yes, and so it could have well been her brother.
Yeah.
But I guessed it was him because he was just too good to be true.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was just, and he was OCD. He had like these OCD tendencies.
Yeah, with his hair.
Yeah, and
okay, so with with the book, you have to catch the fine details.
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning of the book, it said that Audrey Rose said that her brother had studied in medicine for a little while.
Yeah, he did.
And when they were talking about how the Ripper had to have some history in medicine, I was like, it's her brother. Mm-hmm. Right after that, I was like, it's her brother.
Mm-hmm. I didn't catch it after that. He always just seemed like to be in the right place at the right time all the time. Like,
yeah.
And he started that group, the Knights of Whitechapel,
mm-hmm.
and he just always just was too perfect. And I was like, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
And I really was drawn to this book too because it's James Patterson's publishing company, and it is for like more younger people. But this book, in the foreword, he says it's for an older audience.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I feel like it's for an older audience.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I've read some of his books, and I really, really like his writing.
I've read a few of his young adult, because I've read Confessions of a Murder Suspect.
I love that.
Yeah, I need to read the last one of the Dystology. And then I read Witches and Wizards, but I just didn't like it because it went too fast. Like, one thing would happen, and then just move straight to the other thing. I was like, that's too fast.
It's just written really, really well.
Mm-hmm. There's so much, like, research that went into this book. Like, the Jack the Ripper murders, the society of the time, the pictures. I wish there were more pictures.
I wish there had been a picture at the beginning of every chapter.
Yeah, me too. There was like a couple. Okay, I wish they took out the one with the guy with the disease.
The leprosy?
The leprosy. I saw that and I was like, nope, I'm gonna have nightmares.
I was like, Mom, look at that.
Let
me find it. Hold
I
on.
put a note on my, I can tell you exactly what page it's on. Page 90. Because I was like, no, stop, that's gross. I don't need this picture in my life. I was like, I can't.
Okay, so this is what
it's so gross. It's going to be a little blurry, so lucky for you guys, it doesn't automatic focus, but it's, okay, you can stop showing them. It's a gross picture.
It's someone with tubercular leprosy.
Oh, I was like, can I read this little paragraph for the starting of this chapter real quick so I can stop looking at this picture?
I looked at the picture for a while.
No.
I was fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by stuff like this, like in like TV shows and movies. So like, when I heard about this book, I was like, okay, Jack the Ripper, that's really, really cool. They never found out who he was.
Yeah.
And then I'm also like super fascinated by just like serial killers, not in a weird way, but
in a total weird way.
in a weird way.
No, it's just...
I like watch a lot of documentaries about them and like read a lot of books. So I was drawn to this because it was an old serial killer.
Yeah. I really like the concept of, you know, a woman kind of stalking Jack the Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
And I was halfway through this book, and for some reason I stopped and I was on YouTube watching a bunch of documentaries about Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
And then I went on Wikipedia and I saw a picture of like the last victim. They had a picture of what she looked like afterwards, and I was like, oh my god. That's so I wish they kind of put a picture of that in there.
Mm-hmm. I wish they had put a picture of the bodies.
Yeah.
I feel like because after showing like the picture of the tubercular
the leprosy.
the leper. I feel like there's not really, you can go further, especially if you say in the foreword, like, this might not be for younger kids, like, even though this is for, from Jimmy Patterson Publishing, like, it's still, like, I think they could have put a picture of it in.
Okay, so I think we need us to talk about Audrey Rose and Thomas!
I know.
I freaking love him!
So basically...
I love his deductions.
Yeah.
I love when he does that whole rant of just like, how I figured out you were at the mental institute.
And so basically, you want me to explain how they met?
Well, this is the spoiler section, so they know.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically how they met is,
he deduces that she's a woman in his class.
And so she goes to her uncle's class because he's a professor of forensic science, and she's not allowed to talk, like she has to dress like a man, and then Thomas figures out that she's a woman.
Just by looking at her.
Just because he's a genius.
He's a genius. He's like a Sherlock Holmes.
He's a beautiful genius.
He's a gorgeous genius.
And, she finds out that he is her uncle's apprentice of sorts.
Yeah.
Like similar to what she does for her uncle. And they start working together on these murders, and they're like frenemies.
No, he flirts with her shamelessly.
He does.
I love it, because it's like it's like what we would consider like subtle flirting in our time, but in that time, it's such like obnoxious flirting.
But if someone like acted like that to me, oh my god.
I feel
some
like
of it's that's not even subtle.
That's
not
I think
subtle.
one of my favorite parts is when they're going through the notebooks and she can't stop staring at him, and then he says, "It's okay, sweetheart, tomorrow you'll still fancy me," and he doesn't even look up from his work. He's just like...
And he's so smart, and he encourages her to be, like, more of an independent woman. He's not one of those men back in that time who's like, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't try to filter himself in front of her because most of the women that Jack the Ripper killed were prostitutes, and he would say that, and he would say like whore and stuff like that,
and then her uncle would get like so defensive, like there's a lady in the room, and he's like,
and he never registered that, because he always saw them as equals. He never registered that she shouldn't be hearing this stuff, because he knew that she was just as smart as he was.
And I like how they have their relationship.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm so excited for the next book. Do you know what the third book's called?
No.
I think it's called Hiding from Houdini. You just look at the camera, yes.
Well, this is the second book.
Yes, which we're also gonna buddy read.
Hunting Prince Dracula, and it starts a week after
I'm so excited.
she solves the Jack the Ripper case. And basically she's at a forensic science school, the only girl there, and Thomas got in too.
Thomas was there too. It was Thomas's idea.
Yeah, and her dad was okay with it, which surprised me because her dad was so protective. Mm-hmm. But he was on opioids most of the time.
But I feel like seeing what happened to his son, he's like, maybe I've got to let her be her own person so she doesn't go crazy too.
Yeah.
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 Love it.
Because the only reason that Thomas did what he did was so that he could bring his mom back. Not Thomas. What's her brother's name? I forgot.
Nathaniel.
The only reason that Nathaniel did what he did was because he wanted to bring their mom back to life.
Yeah.
And she died from scarlet fever, right?
She died from some sickness. I think it was scarlet fever, yeah. And then Thomas's mother died from some, like a gallbladder infection.
Oh yeah, she was a little bit suspicious of Thomas for a little bit just because she went to his apartment once.
Yeah.
And it was set up like a lab, and he had a body and everything. Mm-hmm. And she found out that he removes the gallbladder first.
And then she found out also about the surgeries that her uncle and Thomas were trying to do.
Yeah, and she found out that Thomas like has a thing to like remove the gallbladder first.
And then the next victim had their gallbladder removed, and I feel like that was Nathaniel that did that on purpose.
I'm sure.
Like a part of me was just like, Nathaniel, you SOB.
Because then she finds out later, after Thomas is like high-key offended that she suspects him, but I don't think he's really surprised. I don't know.
I feel like he's a little bit offended, and then and like in his head, in his like Sherlock deduction head, he's like, she's not separating her emotions from this. Yeah. She's just like doing what her instincts are, just like with her emotions mixed, being like, oh, it's him.
And then she finds out that she and Thomas have more in common because his mom passed away too. Yeah. And his dad is remarried.
Yes.
And he's not mentioned. He has a sister, but she's mentioned once.
Yeah, half sister, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And that's why he's got his own apartment, because he just wants to get away from that.
Yeah, which is super cool. And
oh my god, I'm kind of in love with Audrey Rose's cousin, Liza.
I love her. Because she's low-key a feminist.
Yeah.
She's not like outright because their aunt is so proper and traditional. Yeah. But she like whispers in her ear, she's like, tell me everything.
Tell me everything.
About Jack the Ripper and Thomas.
Tell me everything about Thomas, yeah. And I like how she helps her with her makeup, and then like she puts more eyeliner on, and then like Thomas can't stop staring at Audrey Rose afterwards.
I know, after this I was like, should I start wearing eyeliner? She's like, I'm glad you've taken to the kohl, and like I have kohl at home, like a stick.
Yeah,
like
me too.
It's and it's easier to apply, and I'm like, should I start wearing but no, I loved it. I didn't think, I thought I would like it, but I was just obsessed from like the first, just even like, okay.
The Macbeth quote. She was texting me and she, you were like, oh my god, I love the Macbeth quote. I know I'm gonna love this movie.
The dedication was for Grandma, who always loved a good whodunit. I loved that. The foreword written by James Patterson was super, super good. And then it began with, I will have blood, they say, blood will have blood. And it's from Macbeth, and it just starts with that. And it's
an all-black page, which I just think is so dramatic.
Yeah, and then it starts immediately with this. And, like, I love the chapter names, and I like that the chapters have names.
And I love it also gives the location and date.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that, too.
Mm-hmm. So, can we talk about, what's-his-face, Blackburn? Ugh. Detective Blackburn, or no, sorry, Superintendent Blackburn.
Yeah,
I was not expecting him to be the one that was that wrote to court her.
Mm-hmm. Because she finds out that her aunt, like, spills the tea that her dad was back in town for, like, a few days because he was on, like, in rehab, I guess. Like, he went to their country house because he was
addicted to opium.
Yeah.
And Nathaniel was also helping with his opium addiction.
Yeah. Which was just bad. You find that out at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
But he comes back, and Audrey Rose finds out it's because he's talking to this man who wants to court her. And
then I'm thinking it's Thomas. I'm like, Thomas, you taking the first step, you know?
I didn't know who it was.
Oh, I thought it was Thomas. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be great when she finds out it's Thomas. And then it's like,
no, in the back of my head, I hoped it was him.
And then it's like, they're literally in front of a dead body. And then her dad's like, this is not what I expected to happen when you told me you wanted to court her. And it's Superintendent Blackburn. And I was like,
I was shook. Because, like, I just always thought he was kind of like, I never really knew what I thought of him. Like, I never really had an opinion of him.
Well, it explained a lot, because I always felt like he was kind of forced into the story. Like, he forced himself into this story and into Audrey Rose's life. And I was like, this is just, like, really weird. I don't know why he's here.
And he was always super nice to her.
And then Thomas got really jealous. He's like, what if he's the Jack the Ripper? And I was like, boy, calm down.
I was like, he's not.
He's not, but, like...
he's not smart enough.
Yeah.
But
I was surprised.
I was surprised I was surprised, and then looking back, I was like, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Because he helped her so much with the investigation, and he took her to see her uncle when he was taken to the insane asylum, and he, like, got her uncle out of jail, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. He was trying to, like, woo her or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was Thomas. She thought he was attractive, but she was never, like...
She in the beginning, when they were raiding her uncle's laboratory, she was being sweet on him to get into the laboratory.
Exactly.
And Thomas got, like, real jealous.
I know.
I was like, what's your name? It's like, you didn't ask him before and he didn't say. And
he was so jealous.
He was so salty about it.
It was just a really good book. I'm really excited for the second one. I didn't know a third one was coming out.
Yeah, there's gonna be a fourth one too. Yeah, so, okay, what I know, I read the synopsis for the Hiding from Houdini. It takes place on a ship, and they're going to New York City to help solve some murders. So, then the fourth one, they're going to be in America.
Yes, okay. Is it on Goodreads?
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 sec. This looks so good. I'm excited. I'm here for it. I love it. She's such a good writer.
She's such a good writer.
She's really, really good.
I felt like the plot, like the pacing of the plot, slowed down a little bit after the murders happened and her uncle gets arrested. I feel like it just slows just a little bit because there's that gap between the fourth murder and the last murder.
I don't know. I finished it in a day and a half.
I finished it in a day.
Yeah.
Actually, 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't put it down.
It was so good.
And my mom loved it too. It's so good.
If I lent it to my mom, I probably wouldn't get it back for the next 2 years.
Does your mom not read?
She does read, she just takes forever to read. Like, I have Allegiant, but it's in her room, and she's had it for the last 3 years. Mom, I love you.
I wanted to start the second one right after I finished the first one, but Jessica was like,
no, don't do it.
She was like, no, I'm not starting it until after we film the video.
Because I don't want to get, the stuff confused, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm. But I'm starting it tonight when I get home.
Me too.
When I get home, I'm starting it, and nobody can stop me, except classes tomorrow. Oh, it's just so pretty.
And then there's a Hamlet quote.
I love that she's just putting Shakespeare in it, and I love it.
There's a freaking map! I love maps. I'm obsessed with maps and books.
She is.
I love them.
Can I talk about the map that you're working on for the book that you're writing?
Oh, they know it, because I've done a video for it.
Oh, great. While she's writing, she's making a map for the book she's writing.
So, that is our review for Stalking Jack the Ripper. Could you stop looking at the book? Okay, you hate it when I just
I was just wondering what these lines were, because there's dark lines in the second book. It's not going to focus.
No, it's not going to focus. It's not an automatic focus.
Anyways.
There
are dark lines, and I was like, are there different parts? And I just flipped, and it's a
beautiful
letter.
Book. 5 out of 5 stars. Fantastic. We love it.
Read it.
They've already read it. This is the spoiler part.
Oh, you're right. Tell us what you thought.
Yeah, so please like and also comment down below what you thought.
And subscribe.
And ring that bell as well.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye.